What's up, people? It's your boy Perfection back again with a very controversial video. Okay, this video is in the wake of what's happened, um, recently with George Floyd. I didn't really want to comment on George Floyd because I didn't really have enough information to kind of comment on him. What I did originally get in the beginning is he went into a store with a fake $20 bill. And then as he came out, I don't know, someone picked him up on it because he was behaving, suspiciously. Um, and three cops came, they arrested him, they held him down on the ground. As you guys know, they put their knee on him, and one cop held their knee on him for 9 minutes, 8 minutes. And 2 minutes after he had been, after he passed out or supposedly was dead, the cop still went to put his knee on the guy. And as we all know, he was begging at the time, please, I can't breathe. This is a case that's happened, I've seen twice now among black people in America. Okay, so this is quite I didn't want to come on here and do a video not knowing, not having a lot of information. I think the real reason why I came on here is because it affected affected someone in my family, a very young person in my family. And to see it affecting kids to the point where kids are now scared of their future. And now kids where they try to grow up in a future generation where it wasn't so much focused on skin color. It's kind of brought them back a few ages now to the 1940s and 50s where that's how they kind of feel, where we try to kind of slowly crush this and move forward to a point where our children don't see that much of racism. We've kind of been brought back now because now our kids are almost traumatized, and that's what this video is about. Rest in peace, George Floyd. Yeah, my condolences go out to him. Like I said, I didn't know too much information, but now a lot has come out. All right, what did I first want to say? Right, so before we get into a hell of a lot of stuff, this video is on white supremacy. Okay, white privilege. That's what this video is about. I'm going to first go into this, and then I'm going to go into racism. Okay, this video is basically for both. It's for many races out there, not just for white people, for black people as well, so we understand what it is. Because I was speaking to someone today, and I said I have a close friend of mine that is white, and she is yet to understand what white supremacy is. She's yet to understand what white privilege is, and I've known her for years. We've been friends for an extremely long time. I think some people get it and some people just don't get it. Right, so where would I start off with this? Because this is going to be a long video. I'll probably do it in 2 parts, but right, the first thing I want to say to people is that before we go anywhere with this, it's important to understand that when you bring up topics like this, there's going to be some people out there that are going to be quite ticked off. And the reason why they're going to be ticked off, well, Caucasians or white people out there are going to be ticked off, is because you've got to understand that when we say things like white supremacy and white privileges, what it does is it kind of takes away, what word would I use it? It takes away their emblems. It takes away their achievements. It takes away their hard work. To the real white men out there, real Caucasian men out there, okay? Real hard-working white men out there that maybe have done 2 jobs, 3 jobs, maybe have taken on foster caring, 6 kids, 7 kids, to the superheroes that happen to have because the way I look at it is that there's good people in this world and there's bad people in this world, and to the superheroes that may happen to have white skin, just like there's black superheroes, Chinese and everything else, it kind of takes it away from them when you use the term white supremacy, white privilege. Why does it take it away from them? Because it's almost like you saying to them, the only reason why you got to where you got is based upon the color of your skin. So it can be quite a dagger. That's kind of, it can be a low blow to them. Okay? And I understand that. And this is why it's important that I start with this, is that it's important for people to understand that there are very hard-working white people out there, and regardless of what situation they would be in, had they started from the very bottom, they would still be clawing their way to the top because they have that fighter spirit, that fighter mentality. Okay, but what is white supremacy? What is white privilege? White privilege, basically, now that we understand that there are some really strong guys out there, strong white people out there that are, you know, maybe dying for their country. I mean, I just saw, like, getting back to that, I remember there was this football match that happened in, it might have been France. I think it had something to do with the World Cup, actually. And British people went over. It might have been a friendly, actually. I think it was a friendly that happened in France or something like that. It happened about 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and there was a lot of British people that went over to France, and there was an incident that was captured on TV for all to see, where they were on the tube in some foreign country, and this black guy tries to jump on the tube, and they had this song, "Where was you in World War II? Where was you in World War II?" Now, I'm not really a historian, so I didn't know about all of this thing. And then I saw a program about a month ago on TV where they were saying, wait a minute here, if there's an area in the UK and Britain where they have glorified some of the people in World War II that went out there, some of the Caucasian people in World War II that went out there and fought on behalf of this country and died. There's this big cemetery where they've, you know, glorified them and given them the proper burial and respect that they deserve, yeah. And then it also showed, I think it showed horses. It said that they showed the horses from World War II that actually put themselves on the line as well. But what the program also showed was that there was black people there, there was Indian people there, but none of these people were given graves or gravestones. None of these people were given recognition. So they said, wait a minute here, there was white people there in World War II, there was black people there, and there was Indian people there. But what you've done is you've whitewashed it so that there's no traces. What does whitewash mean? Whitewash means he who controls history is therefore able to rewrite history, can rewrite it and they can describe it as they please. It's as simple as that. With when these racist people are chanting, well, where was you in World War II, and refusing to let the black guy on it, we were there in World War II. We just haven't been, either we haven't been written about, or we haven't been talked about in schools or this or that. And when you go to the gravestones or the area where they're celebrating World War II, there are none. Okay, but getting back, all right. So where was I saying? I was saying that basically, yes, to certain white people out there that have put their lives on the line in wars, that are working hard to look after children, that are working 2-3 jobs in this country, they're paying their taxes and all of that. When you use the term whitewash or white privilege, it actually kind of does them a disservice. But it has to be mentioned. We have to mention these things. So let's get into it. Now that we understand that there are decent white people out there that are working hard, that may not even be racist. They may not be racist. They may be just generally good people. Okay. The flip side to it, when you talk about, well, what is white privilege? What is white supremacy? White supremacy is this, and I want you to listen very carefully. Okay, I'm going to say it to, almost like I was saying it to the same friend that I've known for 12 years and doesn't seem to get the picture. Because she's in a very good job, and she refuses to understand that had she been a woman of colour, or I don't even use the word colour because that's a racist term anyway, had she been black, she wouldn't be in a position. She may not even be in the same building. She may not even be on the lower floor sweeping the floor of the lower building. She may not be there. But she don't seem to understand that. So let's explain it. White supremacy is, imagine that I am a paedophile. Imagine that I'm some sort of rapist. Imagine that I am basically the scum of society. Imagine I'm a troublemaker. Imagine I'm all those things, okay? What white supremacy means is that, provided I have white skin, then I will always be above. I'm not gonna even go into other races, because I'm not here to speak on behalf of them. I'm only here to speak on behalf of my people, which is black people. And you know, you got to look at that. The opposite to white, in regards to the hierarchy, like I said in one of my videos, at the bottom spectrum is black. So let's not talk about other races. What we're going to say is that if I was a white person and I was a paedophile and I was a rapist and I was a robber and I was a child, you know, all of these kind of nasty things, provided my skin color is white, I will have 10 times more credibility, 10 times more freedom, 10 times more liberty, and 10 times more respect, provided my skin color is white. So what that basically means is that even though I'm some sort of a paedophile, even though that I maybe I robbed candy from a baby, I'm as low as that. When I walk into a store with a black person that struggled his ass off in Harvard University, put up with racism, put up with all kinds of things, came from a lower income family, okay, so nothing was handed to him, he had to work really hard for it. When let's assume I'm that guy, I'm that robber, I'm that paedophile, I'm that scum of society. When I walk into a store with that black person from Harvard University that's tried really hard, I end up being 10 levels above him. Okay, he gets followed around the store, he gets watched when he goes to pick up something, when he goes to the cashier, the till, and he gives the woman his £10 note, he then has to stand there and watch the woman hold the £10 note up in front of the whole queue and check the £10 note just to make sure it's not fake or not. Okay, whereas the guy that's the paedophile, the rapist and the robber can walk around the store almost like he owned the store. Okay, when he goes to the cashier, they say, "Oh, hi," with a big smile on his face. Okay, that's example one. So we've used example one of a supermarket. We'll use example two. Now example two is going to be a job. Again, I'm the rapist, I'm a paedophile, I'm all those things. Now this is going to sound a bit extreme, and some people will say, well, that's not entirely true, but it most likely is. Let's assume that people even knew that I was a paedophile. As I applied for the job, they know I'm a paedophile. They know I'm all of these things, okay? Because by using this extreme, people will understand it. But when I turn up at the job, whereas the other applicants are maybe Indian, Chinese or black, me having white skin means that I'm 10 levels above the black persons, the black people in that room, at standing a chance of getting the job, of being successful. Even though one of them there has been to Harvard University, has his masters or whatever you want to call it, I'm the first person to be hired. Okay, now, and there's another person online called pt1, and how she approached it is she said, right, a white man, we can go outside tomorrow and we can get a tramp, a white homeless man that's been a tramp for the last 15 years, and we can give him a shave, we can give him a bit of an aftershave that goes along with it, we can put him in a suit and tie, and he will walk into any job, he'll walk into any meeting or interview, and he will stand 10 times, although she didn't use the term 10 times, that's what I'm using, he will stand 90% chance of getting that job compared to any black person that applied for the role. That's how pt1 put it. Okay, the only downside to what pt1 said, which I don't agree with, is the fact that she was dissing homeless people. You know, I know she never thought about it that way, but me suffering from mental health, which is funny actually, because explaining mental health to people is no different than explaining white supremacy or white privilege. There's many people that I was raised with that didn't believe in, they didn't believe that you could suffer from mental health and be able to articulate yourself properly. They didn't believe that you could suffer from mental health and still be able to talk, walk, eat, and all those kind of things. It didn't. If you suffer from mental health, you deserve to be locked up. You must be someone that's crazy, banging your head on the wall and all that kind of stuff. And I tried many years throughout my life to explain it to people, but they just didn't get it. And I think that with white supremacy and white privilege, it can be the same on the same similar things. But with Michi X, when she started mentioning the tramp thing, I didn't really like it, because in my eyes, she was saying that because the person's a tramp, they don't deserve to then have a good role or good job or this or that. And you've got to understand that 4 out of 5 people homeless suffer from severe mental health problems. Some of them have been kicked out of their homes because their parents just didn't give them the time of day, didn't want to understand their problems or issues. Instead said, look, I can't deal with this, it's too tough, so I'll just kick it out. So it's very similar really to racism and white supremacy and all those kind of things. But getting back to what Michi X was saying, yes, she was saying that a white tramp, can put on a suit and tie, a bit of aftershave, go to a job interview, and regardless of what black person's there and what qualifications, stands a better chance of being employed because of white supremacy. Now I'm going to go into the second video and we're going to delve a little bit more into it, okay? Thank you for bearing with me. I'll see you around for part 2. Peace.